Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to look at problem 11 from section 3 in chapter 12, or chapter 6, 6.3.11. Sorry about that. And so they're saying we're making a survey of 2,245 adults, and 1,338 say they have made a New Year's resolution. And we want to construct confidence intervals for 90% and 95% for the population proportion. So what we have to do is we have to kind of work our way to what our P and Q values are. So I'm going to come to the blackboard here and move over. So, and the information we have is we have surveyed 2,245 people, and New Year's resolution, I'm just going to say yes. They gave a positive answer, yes. I'll make that a Y. It's 1,338. So our sample says, hey, my percentage of those that would fall into this is the ratio of my frequency over my sample space. All right, frequency over sample space. It's the thing that we've done periodically through all of this. And that means that the people who said no is equal to 1 minus this value. We don't need to really estimate this for anything right now. We can take these values as they come out. And so the p-value is a good estimation for this. And we want to generate the confidence interval around that. So we'll pull our calculator up here. Let me get this. Where did it go? There we go. And let's see here. So for a quick estimation, let me turn it on. I'll do 1,338 divided by 2,245. And what, about 59%? Yeah, so we'll come back over here and we'll say 0. Oops, let me get this back here. Write this down for you here. 0.59. I'm going to round 60. So I'll keep to 4 decimal places for right now. That means the Q value is 1 minus this, or 1 minus P. So we'll come back to our calculator here, and we'll go 1 minus second answer, enter, and we get 4040. So 0.4040. So we have our percent of success and our percent of failure, which will help us in determining our range. So for 90%, our critical value, and this is the table on 299 in the book, our critical value at 90% is going to be 1.645. And so to find our error, it's the critical value, ZC, times the square root of P times Q over N. And in the case for 90% confidence, it's 164.5 times the square root of 0.5960 times 0.4040 divided by 2245. Well, that's definitely for the calculator. So let's bring up our friend the calculator. And let's make sure we have our numbers right here. So I'm going to have 1.645 times the square root of 0.5960 times 0.4040 divided by 2245. And that'll get me out of the square root. Hit enter. And I have an error of 0.0170. here. And I'll say 0.17, whoops, 0.0. Let me just erase that. 0.0170. Now our interval is the sample P minus the error on the lower end. I'm going to put the p-value in there, and the sample percentage plus the error on the higher end. So our lower end becomes 0.5960 minus 0.0170. And so that gives for the lower end of the interval. And we'll come back here. So 0.5960 minus 0.0170. And that's 0.579 for the lower interval. And for the upper interval, we just change this minus sign to a plus sign. And 0.613. So we'll come back here, and our interval becomes 0.579 is less than, and 0.613. And so we have our proportion with a 90% confidence. Well, to do 95% confidence, the only thing that changes is our ZC, our critical value. So at a 95% confidence level, the critical value is going to be, and again, on the table on 299, the critical values for 90% 1.96. Yeah, 1.96. It's 1.96. Now, this is the joy of having a half-decent calculator. The TI-30s and the TI-84s can all do this. Instead of going back and recalculating everything, come back here, go up to the line where I entered this in. The only thing that changes is this. It becomes 9.6. So I enter that, and I get my error is 0.020202. So let me show you this on the calculator since it didn't come up here. I go up to where I had the 1.645, and I use the back arrow key, and I change this to 9.6, and I delete that extra 5 there because it'll hit 2 digits. I hit enter, and I get 0.0203. So let's put that in our values here. The error for 95% confidence is 0.0203. And again, my range is going to be P minus E is less than the population proportion, which is the sample proportion plus E. And so I have this upper end and lower end. Well, I'll come here to the calculator and I'll enter these in. So I have go back, my p-value, which was 0.5960 minus 0.0203. That's my lower end. I come back up, and I'm going to change this to a plus sign, and this is my upper end. And so I have 0.5757 and 0.751. And so my range, 0.757, is less than my population proportion value, and 0.6163. And if I take it to 3 decimal places, this is 576, less than P, less than 0.616, which is slightly different than what I had with the 613 and the 579. We have a slightly larger spread, and that's what happens. The more confidence we want, we have to take in more values, or the larger our error is.